What you eat is so important. You need to be looking for foods that are environmentally safe, and they need to be by companies that are environmentally conscious. Don't buy goods from companies that don't care how they impact the environment. By supporting those that do care about how they impact the environment, we are encouraging others to buy from them as well. It's all about supply and demand. Most of our consumption should be from whole foods. And if they have any packaging, they need to have less processing chemicals and they need to have a lot less packaging in general. You should be buying from companies that have an emphasis on helping the community as well. All of those work together to make the company ethically and socially responsible. When we make food choices, it's important to go lower on the food chain. Try not to eat so much red meat or pork products. We should be eating other things that don't harm animals as much as possible. Make the choice at least one day a week, maybe do meatless Monday. That way, your sacrifice is just the one day a week. You could still have a healthy diet the rest of the week, but you would be making a huge impact on not only your consumption, but educate others as well so they can have an impact on their own consumption. Make a vow to educate others. What you can do is educate those around you by showing them the carbon footprint and the other games that are out there. There's a lot of games out there that can help you see the impact you truly have on the environment. By making learning about the environment fun, it doesn't come across like a lecture or boring. You can educate others by making sure that everyone knows the part they play in the environment and how being a steward to the environment is important to us and our future generations to follow. By showing them how to protect the resources by reusing and recycling, they can learn how important it truly is to maintain the resources available to us. We only have a limited amount of resources available, and by showing them things like statistics and games that show exactly how much their individual choices can impact the environment, we make a bigger impact than just showing generic figures. Community is a community that has a recycling program in place. A sustainable community takes advantage of their land to grow trees and crops and eats whole foods rather than store bought packaged goods. A sustainable community encourages its citizens to reuse its goods and find creative ways to use the resources they already have used. A sustainable community encourages its people to walk or bike to work and to educate others on the environment and how to maintain it. In a perfect world, all communities are sustainable. They can create and use goods that are harvested and use them within the community rather than depending on imported goods from other communities or even countries. One of the craziest concepts is the not in my backyard idea. We need to make sure that if we're going to have issues happening, we can't just be worried about our little community. We need to be thinking bigger picture. There's waste yards all over, and communities don't want them in their area, so they think it's okay to just push them off to other areas. In big cities, this is a huge deal. Buses are boasting to be cleaner, greener emission systems that are gaining popularity. We need to continue this trend. Another thing we can do is carpool and be sure that the cars we are giving off have fewer emissions than before. We need to reduce the amount of carbon dioxide we're giving off. And it doesn't matter if it's just in your community or all over. We need to think the bigger impact that we're having on the community and not just be worried about certain areas. We need to be worried about the impacts of climate change that we have. One of the effects of climate change include longer and more frequent weather events like wildfires and hurricanes. Just this year, California has seen wildfires that have killed people. We need to make sure that the environment is safe and friendly to the environment and the impact that we're having on it.